Guys, this is
Henry L.
fucking
Bang
class
or Robert
content,
E.
bro.
Lee
All
can
I'm
serve
doing
as
is
an
looking at this
inspiration.
comment box,
What
guys.
does the White House say
Class
to that
content.
particular
How
comment?
fucking
Fort Bragg is
logical.
known for the heroes within it that trained there, that deployed from there, and it's an insult to say to the men and women who left there the last thing they saw on American soil before going
Last thing they
overseas,
saw on
and
American
in some
soil. Can
cases
someone explain
losing
that? I
their
don't get what you mean
lives,
by, like,
to
why is
tell
that?
them that what they left was inherently
Is
a
that like a
racist
known
institution
feeling?
because of a name. That's unacceptable to the president, and rightfully so. And I would also note, where do you draw the line here? I'm told that no longer can you find on HBO Gone with the Wind because somehow that is now offensive. Where do you draw the line? Should George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison be erased from history? What about FDR and because of internment camps? Should he be erased from history, or Lyndon Johnson, who has a history of documented racist statements? And finally, what about people that are alleged by the media to be segregationist? NBC tells us Joe Biden didn't just compromise with segregationists, he fought for their causes in schools, experts say. CNN tells us letters from Joe Biden reveal how he sought support of segregationists in the fight against busing. And Washington Post tells us that Biden's tough talk on 1970 schools desegregation plans could get him new scrutiny. And there are several more where that came from. So I'll leave you with the question, should we then rename the Biden Welcome Center? Thanks very much, guys.
See, look at this, man. This is sad. Like, why has a bro got to say that, you know? It is sad. Oh, that's it. Mate, these comments were nutty. These like, once I start recording this shit down, bro, it's gonna be... Yeah, so the comments would be like water droplets. Content would create streams. Circles create a 1D again, and that's actually a route or a riverbed. Who's next? Going it now, been a feeling it, somehow.
Yeah.
Just one look on you to see what you've done.
Yeah, it's like the White House. Yep, the logo of the White House. Yeah. Okay, you're good? Okay, you're welcome. They're taking you live. Sorry. Okay, thanks.
Mate, one of the questions was hilarious, boys. He went, so Trump made a comment that he fell harder than he got pushed. How does that work according to physics? And that's basically what you do. You try and make your opponent, your adversary, use a framework, a way of speaking, so a language or a topic, or like physics is in itself basically a language. So you make them use a certain framework, and then the idea would be you pre-bake or reverse engineer or backwards compute an endpoint that would result in a point for you. Right, so let's say we play football, there are many things that you can do to get the ball past me if I'm in the net defending. So let's say you know that the other user either doesn't know how to speak this language well, or even if they do, they get to the same point as you, which is a point for you. So you offer it up. Hey, so what about according to physics, right? But she didn't fall for it. She just was. She just didn't take it. Now the problem is, because no one's monitoring this, politics is a sport. The sooner we can get that going, the more transparency we can get, and the more efficient we can get the markets. We'll have there'll be a whole market basically generated to making it better, just like sportswear and coaching and what do you call it? You know, moving right, anaerobics. I don't know. Because they're not serving the utilitarian value of actually addressing questions and using this as an interface, as a feedback loop to improve your behavior in the environment, right? So ideally, they are the environments, the journalists, and they ask the environment to the system, the government, and the government is like, oh yeah, okay, right, yeah, now I know. Right, just like you're not angry at fire. Well, you kind of are angry at fire when it burns you, but like not really, right? You're just kind of angry that you got burnt. Maybe you're angry that you did it. You should really be angry at what you did that led you to that, unless someone did it to you. So when the government gets a bad question, they shouldn't be like, oh, screw you. So why are they deflecting? Why are they defending? Because they're not only providing the utilitarian value, these journalists. What these journalists are doing is providing cultural value. And you do that by basically like point scoring, right? This is like, you can kind of play gotcha in this, right? And you can also lay up for your, for the other team. So like when you're cavalry and you're doing skirmishes, you're not trying to win the war, but you're trying to get like just a little kind of foot on the ground, so if we ever want to really go, you can go. Right? Whereas
Just once she got in there. Exactly. Nothing before she shot it though, right? I don't know what she shot.
so the newspapers are basically getting paid for that. And they can do a layup game in the cultural aspect now, where they can make her say something. So you offer the trap, she falls for it, let's say, gets caught in it. Now you can't really, maybe that's a gotcha for you, but you can then, your brethren in that can compound it, right? Can run away with it if the opportunity arises. So it's kind of like adding another tool to your arsenal. It's like another, once something loops back around like that, that's energy, that's motion. So it's kind of like a bit of force, a bit of energy you can use against your opponent. No chat? Mate, no chat, no fun. What? Fuck this, I'm out.